Hello, this is Father Rich coming to you from the main intersection of the halls and the rooms at the first floor rectory at Our Lady of Peace. Here going from the garage door down to our dining room that you've seen. There over there is the living room, which we've spent time in, and of course you're in the kitchen here, so kind of the main intersection. You see our refrigerator here, I have to admit I'm the source of a lot of the magnets here. You see things that are connected with me. But the Browns, I was tempted not to put that. The Irish barely won this past weekend. Play like a champion today. Pro-life, Our Lady of Peace stuff. You got to have a leg lamp from Christmas Story, right? Love and Respect, Jerusalem, Groundhog Day. You got OLP, Prep, good, all this kind of stuff. St. Nicholas, and a prayer to him there as well. I have to wonder if he's going to be one of the essays. I have to admit I haven't looked through them all. We're making the turn now. We're in the second edition of our How the Church Has Changed the World, so you get to see a new book now. These are available in Magnificat Publishing. So I've had some people ask, hey, what if we want to read the essays? And I would highly encourage you to do that. So we're on the second volume. We're in the second half. So we've reached the halfway point. We're on essay 25 now. And these were actually published between January 2016 and December 2017 in the Magnificat little, monthly magazine meditation book. Remember the first we just finished were published between 2013 and 15. So I'm here because I'm here also in front of the calendar section in our rectory. You see the monthly calendar that we get, or the yearly from OLP. We're grateful to all our sponsors. Zoom in on them and support them. Our liturgical schedule, so who's saying Mass when is here as well. Our guest room list if we got people coming through. In today's essay, it focuses on, again, how the church created the calendar that we use now to this day. Remember, it was brought up when we were talking about astronomy and Copernicus, and that he was trying to help with this situation of the calendar not being exactly perfect. Remember, for 1,500 years, from about Julius Caesar, the Julian calendar that was the first century BC, all the way to the 1500s, that was the calendar that was used, and they used a leap year every year. But Pope Gregory XIII, he took over from Pope St. Pius V in 1580, and he had a lot of things. He accomplished a lot of good things. Remember, he was part of the 1500s, the Catholic Counter-Reformation, the ways the church did reform in response to the Protestant Reformation. He appointed St. Charles Borromeo to reform the seminary system. He helped either expand or build 300 schools or universities, remarkably. And he also, as they mentioned here, he had a great commitment to the missions to Japan. He founded an English seminary in France that could help form English priests to go back into England and secretly keep the church going. And we know many of them became martyrs when they were caught. So really did a lot of remarkable things. But one thing he wanted to do was to figure out this calendar thing. So he appointed a German Jesuit priest, the name of Christopher Clavius, or Christopher Claw in German. And he was a real Renaissance man. He was raised in Bavaria. He was a professor in Portugal. He was the papal mathematician, but also an astronomer in Rome, friends with Brahe and Kepler, and also lifelong friends with Galileo. So really remarkable. And he wrote a lot, and it really impacted the church and really all these disciplines. But in the midst of this, he was able to come up with a plan. And so basically he said every year that's divisible by 400, that we should skip the leap year, and that this would keep us on the proper pace. So 2000, I didn't even realize we did this, but in 2000 we skipped the leap year, and that kept us in pace. The next one we'll skip is the year 2400, so we have a while, but that is just enough to keep us on the right pattern. So this was the Gregorian calendar. Interestingly enough, it was adopted by all the Catholic countries, but a lot of the Protestant countries did not. So they were still using the old Julian calendar. And so, of course, remember the The English colonies, yes, that turned in the United States were of that nature. So they mention that George Washington's birthday is recorded, and this is really, I was fascinated by this. It was recorded as February 11th, 1731, because they were following the Julian calendar. But eventually, in 1752, all of the the Protestant countries too adopted the Gregorian calendar because they realized it was ridiculous to have two different calendars going on. And so what happened? They just changed Washington's birthday to the Gregorian date, which is February 22nd, 1732. And that's the day we celebrate for President's Day. And obviously the bicentennial of that was in 1932, not 1931. So really fascinating to see the impact that these calendars had for a while. We can't even imagine because everybody's adopted the Gregorian calendar now. And they did say there was some debate about what day to establish as New Year's. Ultimately, Julius Caesar's date of January 1st won out. But many people were arguing, and I wish we had done this, but like March 25th, which is the Annunciation. What an awesome day to have the first day of the year. Or some argued Christmas Day, but eventually, obviously, January 1st won out. It's the Feast of Mary, the Mother of God now, but it wasn't that when it was selected, okay? So really remarkable to know the impact, again, that our church has had in bringing this about, and certainly we are thankful that we're all united now in time, and to see these Jesuit priests that helped get us to this point in 1582, and Pope Gregory the 13th, by dictate, mandated that everyone adopt this calendar, and we're still there today. And now we can all gather in Times Square, as the essay writer mentions, on the right date, the right time, and all people from all over the world can be united in celebrating that New Year's Eve, 1 hour at a time as time goes around on New Year's night, because of Pope Gregory the 13th, and because of that mathematician and astronomer, Christopher Columbus. So we thank God for them. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. God bless.